Welcome to another episode of The Shift with Elena. In this conversation, I chat with Danial Tokath. He shared his journey from engineering to entrepreneurship, his leap of faith from Dubai to Jordan, and the importance of taking risks and overcoming fear. We talked about balancing work and personal joy and how storytelling and passion can drive business success. Daniel's insights on adapting to change, embracing innovation, and the role of AI in staying relevant were just really interesting to hear. So as always, tune in, share, let me know what you think, and enjoy the conversation.
Danielle, welcome to the Shift podcast.
Nice to get me here. Thank you very much.
I know. I'm really glad that I think it was, I want to say it was Rahaf that connected us. Maybe. I forget who connected us, but the power of the, I think it was Rahaf. Yeah. I think it was her. So shout out to her for connecting the right people. So that's awesome. So listen, you started your career in engineering. Now you're an entrepreneur. How does this happen? Two different mindset, two different things. Talk to me.
Yeah. I love to call it the story of E to E. And by the way, thank you, Ray. Great connection with Elena. Okay. How I discovered this storytelling in me, that's a different story. But it's funny though, because I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. You know, at the beginning, yes, I was thinking to be a business owner, and it was there on the drawer in the back of my head. But as we all do, I thought it will be that moment when I will be financially prepared, stability, and all that stuff. And then, yeah, I have enough cash, enough stability to start to think about me and my own business. I never thought what shape it could be until one thing happened. Well, it was not reality. You should not be like millionaire to start your own business or an entrepreneur. What happened is, let me tell you this story. I'm afraid of heights. Okay, that's I admit to in front of all those audience. But what happened is, I went to Turkey, and it was one of a kind vacation. I climbed that mountain using the telepheric. It was 3,000 something, I don't know, above the sea. And we reached the top. It was above the clouds. You can imagine for someone afraid of heights to be above clouds is something like, am I in an airplane or am I still on ground? And then what happened? Just like one click, I decided to go there. And I registered my name and I paid and I say, I'm the last flight. We're gonna fly this day. And I encouraged my wife too. And she was the one who was in front of me. She was already shivering and shaking. But of course, I pushed her first. To be said, no. Actually, I love my wife, and I was to be sure that she's going to do it safely. Don't get me wrong. But
no judgment over here.
All right, so I did that job, and it was that moment when I left the ground that my legs were floating in the air, and I really enjoyed the moment. It was like around 43 to 45 minutes till I reached the sea level.
Wow.
It was the life experience that I could ever imagine I could have. And that changed my whole life. I took that into my own personal, and the first thing I did when I get back home to Dubai, N was born. N is the company name that I own now. And N has a different story. Why is it N? But it was born on paper, and that was November. And I did not take it seriously until Feb, where I started to get, hey, I did the job. Why don't I do it? I climbed the ladder of corporate life. I was at a position that I was dreaming of. I was responsible for 112 million US dollars, responsible for the whole MENA, GCC, North Africa and Turkey, everything. I was reporting to the president, a big corporate, well-known brand. Everyone, just like, this is the top of dream. And my next step was to be the VP, but call it crazy. And it was a moment that, yeah, when was the tough question. And it took me that jump to think again, and I did it. But the decision about the industry and the storytelling was something else. I went to with my son to the university because he was telling me, "Hey, Dad, I want to study something called visual communication." Was what the heck? Engineers do not understand these things. They understand numbers and figures and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went to the open day at the university, me and my kid to Wollongong University in Dubai, and we met the professor who was telling us all about the visual communication thing. And I thought like, hey, I want to register, not my son. I loved it. So as of like to start and test the water, I started Monday Talks. Monday Talks was like, I never thought I would be good with recording videos. But I remember that the first video I took for me to present myself on LinkedIn profile took me like 18 shots,
Yeah.
till I get satisfied with it. But then I discovered that it's my joy. It's a new purpose. It's a new passion that coming up.
Mm-hmm.
After this like 20 plus years in corporate life, now it's time to shift all that thing and move it to a different direction. That's part of what happened. Yeah, that part of the story. But then it happened, and here I am, the owner of N Design Studio, talking to you today.
Yeah. So tell me about N. What is N? Why N? What does it stand for?
And it was tough, to find a name that keep inspiring me, and to find available name in Dubai, especially,
Mm-hmm.
And N was by discovery. I found N is the common letter between me, my wife, and all my kids.
I love it.
It was, oh my goodness. And we were thinking, and then, yeah, N comes up. And then I checked directly, is it available? Yes, it was there. And I was like, no hesitation whatever. Because I'm talking about stories, and my family is my top priority, and my family is my story. I built this family from scratch. I remember when it was 2001, when I packed my backpack and went to the airport for the first time ever to travel and build my future. I was like only equipped with engineering certificate and few months of experience. And I went to Saudi Arabia, and it was 1 a.m. in the morning.
How old were you at that time? You went from Jordan, right? You left from Jordan?
It was 1 year after graduation, yeah. From Jordan to Riyadh. It was 1 a.m.
Wow. Okay.
And the first thing I encountered at the airport exit was someone holding my name upside down in Arabic. And I was, oh my God, what a great start it is. Obviously, you cannot read Arabic, but yeah. My name was upside down. I was like, okay, let's hope this will be a great start. The first thing I did, I flipped it straight, and we started in.
There you go. So tell me a little bit more. I just want to turn back a little bit. What's interesting is that whenever I talk with people who started their own businesses or went into entrepreneurship, it sounds like there's really not any like the right time to start. It's like one of those things that you feel it's just that this is the time. Because I felt the same way as well. Like to your point, you're saying like you feel like, okay, when you have this much money or when you're doing this and that's when you're going to start. But the reality is there's just some nudge in you that eventually just gets louder and louder, and you're like, this is it. This is the time to start. So it's interesting to hear that, because I hear it from most people. I don't know anybody who started a business who like had it all planned out and had all these timelines and they knew everything. Now looking back, do you have any regrets? Should you have waited longer, or do you feel like it was truly the right time for you at that time?
No regret whatsoever. It's meant to happen, and it happened. And suddenly, I mean, I was surprised that no, not everyone is dreaming to have their own business.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
it's the kind of like, yeah, people are happy with their
Yeah.
own employment, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I believe, yeah, if I was not pushed into it, into this, maybe I opened the door. I climbed that mountain and I made that jump, literally,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to, you know. But sometimes, the fate has to have something in your life.
Yes.
It has to have, because, I built a family and I was settled and everything, and I have big family, by the way. And it's too risky. It should be earlier if you can think as logically, and it should be like, yeah, the up and downs and going to zero and starting from nowhere,
Yeah.
is that it is really a big risk,
Mm-hmm.
but no regrets whatsoever. I've done it and I'm happy I did it. I
Mm-hmm.
know it was a big challenge, and I know it was not me only who was like suffering with patience. And I really appreciate the patience of my family. My
Yeah.
kids learned a lot. Um, how does it feel for someone to follow his dream?
Oh yeah,
And
I
this
bet it has
dream,
like a huge impact on your kids. Sorry to interrupt, but I bet you it has, you know what I mean? Just like
yeah,
that, like watching you do that
yeah,
probably gives them a lot of courage as well to try things.
exactly. And that's what pushes them. They were happy living in a very luxury life in Dubai and everything. Now I moved them into Jordan, but I watched them. Like my first kid who registered in the company, in the university, sorry. Now he's working because he felt responsible. He's happy. He's working in what he loves to do. He was hired because he's like talented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The second kid also, he loves basketball, and
Nice.
he found a golden chance here in Jordan to be in Ahli Club, which is the main, very famous club.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's the captain of the team. They struggled with me, I know, and it was the family challenge rather just only my own.
Mm.
We all learned. We all learned
Yeah.
the hard way that it's achievable. Now they see the success and they celebrate with every onboarding client we get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of course, every now and then we go to Dubai to visit
Yeah.
and have some business and stuff. But now they're proud. I feel that. I can see that. I can see it in their eyes. And they are just like trying to follow the lead. And they
Mm-hmm.
are doing the same in their lives.
Mm.
I
I'm.
remember the
Mm.
sight of my son, the bright in his eyes when he said, he was patient for like 3 months trial period to get fixing this job while he's still studying. And the first salary to him means the world. He came to me with very shiny eyes and he said, "Dad, this is the first salary I ever get in my life." You know,
Mm-hmm.
he tried different jobs, but this one is the dream job of him.
Yeah.
And just like in a couple of months, his name was in the credits of one of the artworks here in Jordan. It was
Wow.
posted on YouTube and everywhere.
Very
Now he's
cool.
invited actually to a big movie, big series,
Mm.
to work on the 3D animation on that stuff.
Very
I'm
cool.
so proud of him. I'm
Yeah,
so
I can
proud of him.
see. I can see.
Yeah.
Mabruk. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I'm a huge believer that when we do like hard things in life in general, it pushes us to feel like, okay, we can achieve more and more. And as you're speaking now, when you made that in Turkey, when you had that jump, essentially, it almost, when you did that and you overcame that fear, I think what probably shifted in you was like, what else can I do? And it almost like, well, if I could do this, then what else am I stopping myself from doing because of fear? And that's what I think holds a lot of people back is the fear. And so,
Exactly.
and it's like, it's one of those things like we can't necessarily teach you to like not be fearful of things, but you can manage it by doing difficult things every day in your life, or once a week or once a month, because you're training that muscle and you're starting to gain more confidence, and you're starting to minimize that fear, and also minimize the risk of whatever that fear might bring as well. So I think it's very powerful that you had that, because that was like right after. So mindset is definitely, it's a big factor here.
You cannot imagine the beauty of things when you cross the boundary of fear, of your own fear. Everything tastes different when you
Yeah.
cross that border. When I came back to Dubai, I tried everything. I went to zip line, I went to Ras Al Khaimah, and, I tried different things, and
Yeah.
I love the taste of adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
next step is going to be skydiving.
Yeah.
Serious.
That's awesome. I'm not yet there. I'm gonna let you do that one. That's one thing I was like, that's one fear. I'm just not like, it's not even a fear. It's just like, I'm good. That's not what I want. That's one thing I'm like, I'm good. I'll do anything else but that. What has been the biggest lessons for you, throughout this journey? What did you learn the most about yourself or business, or just anything that's insightful that you can share?
I did so many crazy things in life, including this.
Mm,
And so many people just like confused about now, isn't it too late? I mean, after 20-ish years and you reach this point, you start now? I was like, some kind of listening, but I move forward.
mm-hmm.
When they keep telling you that and they look at you that, are you crazy? And you start like, okay, one time, second time, third time, 4 or 5 people telling you the same. Am I doing something wrong? But what I learned, it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, it's never too late. Because believe me, when I was in the employment life, I never thought to wake up from before sunrise with Fajr. And I just like, okay, I will use this. It's the best hours to sleep in, the deep sleep and stuff.
Yeah.
But now I woke like every day
Mm-hmm.
because I love what I do. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. You know, every client comes on board. It's a challenge to prove and give them this story to shine. Because
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, I know people love figures sometimes and facts, of course, but believe it or not, they resonate and get fascinated more with the stories because stories are proofs.
Yeah.
I've done this and this is what happened. I've done this. I've been through this and this is the exit. We learn from each other. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the main purpose of me in Monday Talks when I share people's stories, great minds, great stories.
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave an impact. I know before in corporate life, I was just like inspiring maybe my family, my team, but this is a bigger scope now. I'm open to the world. So I can like build up that community and share the stories of others, shedding the light on the others,
Mm-hmm.
because we all love to learn. We all love to hear those stories, and maybe we get inspired by theirs and find our own passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned lesson really the hard way. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. Just just take a step back, look at your life, and what's missing. Try to figure out what do you feel doing, because the most precious thing we have in life is time. The sooner, the better. When you discover that time is going and it's never coming back, money can
Mm-hmm.
be back,
Yeah.
but time never.
Yeah. It's very powerful what you're saying, because I think a lot of people, uh they don't understand the power of doing something you really enjoy, because it truly gives you energy. And there is, and I'm a huge believer that there's something that everybody can do that brings them a lot of joy. And sometimes it's monetizable and sometimes it's not. But but no matter, even if you can monetize it or not, it will bring you so much joy that whatever you're doing for the money, because we all have responsibilities, it will add to it. And I think that if we could just understand that, because there's a lot of excuses like, well, I don't have time, I'm very busy, my job is very demanding. And I always say it comes down to choices. Like you choose, you choose how much you give at work, right? You can still give 100, but it doesn't mean you need to give 120 every week, every day. Leave that 20, leave that 10 for you, for your joys in life, because that's where the magic happens. That's what keeps you going. And that's where you can actually maybe discover an alternative way to make money, an alternative ways for your career and so on. And I think, and I just wish people who are listening can like really understand that, because it's so simple and it doesn't require a lot of time. It doesn't require a lot of change. It's just a small thing anybody can do like once a week that will transform their life in the long term. It's fascinating.
One thing you mentioned very quickly, and you said change.
Mm-hmm.
Really, people talk too much about change. Well, I'll tell you what, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want it or not, it's happening.
Yeah.
So why don't you try to adapt and live it?
Yeah.
The other day I was posting like, life is up and down.
Mm-hmm.
It will never continue straight line unless you're dead.
Yeah.
Straight line means dead.
Yeah.
So if we're not dead, means that today we're happy, the other day we're struggling. So knowing that in the deepest point of your struggle, that you're going to go up again, won't this be enough to give you the courage to continue and build up another height? And you're not going to stuck there forever.
Yeah.
So knowing that fact about life is really something inspiring. Like I was there with a very tough struggle. I struggled to put food on the table, but I know I'm climbing now, and I'll reach the top again.
Yep. It's a roller coaster. It comes and goes, and money comes, money goes, and it's so unpredictable, but it's the same thing in a corporate world. Like in the US where I am, I mean, layoffs are happening all the time, and usually the people that are getting laid off are a lot of high executives because they're expensive. They are the most expensive, and it's like I feel that we're in a stage of the world, the state of work, and this how we live as humans, that you cannot afford to put all your eggs in one basket, which is your corporate career. Right? Like to put all of your talent, all of your skills in this one basket, because that basket is so unstable these days. It's not what it used to be. And so unless people learn to diversify, especially with technology and AI coming out and all those things, like there's so many things that can be outsourced, that can be replaced by technology. You don't need 5 people doing a job anymore. You need one person who can manage 5 technologies or one ChatGPT to create and create. And I think, the other lesson I kind of hearing from you is just this ability to also stay innovative and continue to, because that's what I think entrepreneurship forces you, or just even if you own a business, forces you to do. Because if you're not continuously, maybe up and down, but essentially you're still moving upwards, you're going to be left behind. And it's up to you. In a salary job, you're still going to get paid. You can do a bare minimum. When you own a business, you can't afford that. Like that's not, because you're the driver. Nobody's going to love your business the way you do. Nobody's going to have the drive, and nobody's going to have the vision that you have for your business. And I think it's so essential.
I cannot agree more, because nobody is irreplaceable in the
and in the corporate world.
Right? And at one point you will be even at the top of that chain, CEO for many years. Some point they will come a young guy who has all this AI under his knowledge and and have all those skills, and they will say, "Thank you very much."
Yes,
the company has to move, otherwise we will just like vanish. So this is normal. But you, as a person, as an individual, it's never too late to learn. I discovered this. I learned a lot engineering into social media
Mm-hmm.
and LinkedIn and posting and storytelling is completely changing the world from tangible numbers into emotional connection.
Yeah.
It's really big change, but to resonate with the thing that we call innovation. I remember the mobile phone. We were just like, pressing the A letter to get the A and B and twice,
Uh-huh.
3 times, and and now
It's crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah, right. So we have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like all people before, when the first generation of mobile came, just said they know how to open the call and close the call. We will be this this case maybe with the coming technology when we get old. Like, oh my goodness, I cannot cope with this.
Yeah.
I don't know where are we, how far the world is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
but at least let's find a spot.
Mm-hmm.
A spot where to leave an impact. Okay, roots are roots. Ethics are ethics. Human exchange relationships remains the same, because emotions cannot be copied, and AI cannot be generated with
Well,
any
not
kind
yet.
of
Not yet. You never know. But yes, not yet. Hopefully not anytime soon. Hopefully not in our lifetime.
Yeah, imagine, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
curious.
don't know.
I'm curious, in your business, how are you, on this topic of kind of future of work and AI, like how are you keeping up with making sure that you're staying relevant and making sure you're, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to be wiped out by technology. Like, what are you doing? Anything in particular?
Actually, the other day I was talking to a friend, and they say, we are not going to be replaced by AI. We're going to be replaced by people who know how to deal with the AI,
Yeah.
right? Because how to deal with the AI, just like the calculator from the beginning, we were just like counting and using papers and all that stuff. No one, even in schools, I remember now, they don't teach how you calculate by hand, only just like very quickly. Just tell you, you can do this, you can do this. You are allowed to bring the calculator to the exams, even in school.
Mm-hmm.
The same will happen to every technology that they're introducing into the world. So, how to tell you that even me, with emotional and storytelling and posting and everything, I talk to the AI the whole day. It's a continuous chat. Hey, this is not what I meant. Change it to this way. Change the tone. Let's talk about this. No, this is not the service that we're looking for. This is not the idea of the post,
Mm-hmm.
So I have to work with this. I have to uh, be aligned with the technology and the trends, because I enjoy every time that every client has a different story, different industry, different product.
Mm-hmm.
I have to learn.
Yeah.
I have to go all through and know their competition, what they're doing, know the market trends, know the countries, which country is booming and why they're focusing on this, and present it in a different way. And imagine Dubai, very competitive world. And I promise my clients to show as a thought leader. That's really a challenge
Mm-hmm.
in a very competitive world.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of research
Mm-hmm.
behind the scene, a lot of chat to understand exactly their niche.
Yeah.
It's believe it or not, it's something I'm passionate about. I love it.
Yeah.
And I put myself always in the shoe of their own clients, what they're looking for, what attracts them. And I challenge myself and my team on how many weeks we can still go on to get the first client for our customers.
Mm-hmm.
Our first customer took like 40, 41. Now we reached 16 weeks.
Nice. So you mean by like through the storytelling, the social media pieces, right? To get
Yes.
them to land the
They
client through these
have their own
activities.
source of referrals and getting
Sure,
clients
sure.
and all that stuff. But I monitor how many clients they get from my social media account managing.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So this is the success factor of me. This is what I'm proud to have.
Yeah.
This is the kind of number that they would say, hey, this is a strong testimonial to talk to others and say, oh, I can do this. We did this. Not I can.
Do you
This is the
see
kind of success we call it.
Do you see social media? Do you see any particular trends? Because I know, like in the Middle East, like I think it was like for the longest time it was like Instagram and Snapchat were like it. Now it's I think TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn. Is there anything new that you see popping up in social media world, or is it still pretty much like the main ones, like in the Middle East and like in the GCC, like LinkedIn? I would assume, or what else is out there?
To be honest, no one can track the social media trends for like a comprehensive view, because one time they just like there's a wave coming on Instagram, one time there's this thread comes out, and one time there's Facebook is going on, let's say, straight line, it's not growing, or one time LinkedIn say, hey, I have 700 million. But the other day I posted one thing. If it depends where your customers are and how old are they. The more specific you are about your niche, the closer you will get to them. Like, what's their trend? What's the way of thinking? Gen Z and Gen X and all that stuff. And then if they are with this specific segment, then change the platform. Go to Instagram or stick with LinkedIn, or let's talk about Facebook. And it depends also in the tradition and culture and all that stuff. Many things. The other day I was talking to also a lady. She's famous about culture effect on the homogeneity of the corporate world. She supports HR people. She's a coach to help them make this multinational company homogeneous atmosphere into more productive, because this culture barrier is a thing. It's not easy to overcome. And this is something also we face on social media. We might laugh at other cultures, the way they're just doing it and all that stuff, but this is way different when they look at ours. It's social media is unpredictable. But you have to find a wave and ride on it.
Yeah.
And sometimes change the wave. It's not a fixed wave and will fall again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm curious if one of your kids is starting a business right now, what are the 3 top advices you would give them? Just top 3 from the lessons that you learned.
They have to start being an employee and learn, socialize, see the people, hear them, feel them. Because I prepared Anne, not for me only, it's for the family, and that's the place. And they have already the residency ready for them, for my kids. But I want them to start and feel the employee life, because one day when these employees come to their office and looking for business, they know where they're coming from. They know they have tasks, they have goals to accomplish, they have tasks to complete within time limit. And I want them to learn the discipline of being up early, leaving late sometimes, having tasks overdue. What does it mean? Feel the sense. Because if they come to an environment that is well built and is successful, and they have to do is like, I will do this and design stuff. And they don't care about time, deadlines. It will be disaster. Yeah, that's my advice to them. Is like, first of all, I encourage each and every kid to follow their own passion. I don't push like, I want you to be an engineer or pilot or a dentist or a doctor. It was there in the beginning, and in our age maybe, but for now, No, because I see the world where it's going. I see how many doctors are just working taxi drivers.
Yeah, it's not the same
Right.
anymore. Mm-hmm.
They hate both jobs.
Yeah.
They don't like to be doctors, and they hate being drivers,
Mm-hmm.
and they lost their lives.
Yeah.
So it's illogic to say, hey, you have to have a strong certificate from a very academic background and a strong university. No, it doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not passionate about what you do, what you study, and what's happening in your life, it will not work. You will find yourself stuck somewhere and you don't like it. I don't want this to my kids.
Yeah.
I want them someday to be proud of every moment they have been, even if it's sad. They have been through it. They tried everything. And yes, I had nothing in my pocket, like for him as a student, but I found a job and I got my first salary. And it was amazing because I was, it feels different because this money, I worked hard for it.
Yeah, it's earned.
Before it was Baba's pockets.
Yeah.
Let's buy a computer that costs 7,000 dirhams. No, okay, Baba, and on the way we can try to make it 9,000.
Yeah.
But when it's my pocket, oh my God, I can survive with the current computer now. Let's think about something else.
Perspective changes very quickly.
Yeah, true.
Before I ask you my last question, where can people find you? Where do you spend most of your time on social media, maybe, or if somebody wants to check out your company?
I'm a LinkedIn geek 24/7, maybe. So LinkedIn is my place.
All right.
Whoever looks to communicate, I'm widely open. I love stories and I love helping them to leave an impact and share their stories.
Nice.
Happy to connect.
I'll make sure to include that in the show notes. The last question I ask all of my guests is, what is one question you wish people would ask themselves more often?
Are you fulfilled with what you're doing now? Can you see where you're going? Can you do something in your hand to change into better, let's say, or not better, more into matching to your purpose? So the last question is, what are you waiting for?
Love it. It's a full set of questions. I love it. Choose whichever one you feel is aligned to you, whoever is listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. It's been a beautiful conversation. Thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you very much for having me.